Welcome to the KayaCast, the podcast for cannabis businesses looking to launch, grow, and scale their operations.
2026. I cannot believe we're in 2026. I just cannot believe that 2025 is over. What a year. I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday. There's just so many things to look forward to this year. I don't even know where to start. You have Schedule 3. It's going to happen this year, hopefully. And I have so many questions. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure everybody does in our industry. We operate in a state of uncertainty. That's our normal state, and Schedule 3 gives us more uncertainty. What does this do for banking? What's going to happen with banking? Does this allow big banks to come in? I hope so. I hope, and we know that Schedule 3 opens the door for research, which is great. But after research, it also opens the door for big businesses to come in. So what happens then? What happens when pharmaceutical companies or other big companies come in? Does that allow big beverage companies to come in? Does it open the door for that? What happens at the state level, if any? Do things change at the state level? What happens on the federal level? Do they now allow certain Schedule 3 drugs to be sent across state lines? I'm sure that the plant itself, the natural form, maybe not, but what about a pharmaceutical drug? I'm sure that can be shipped across state lines. And does that open the door for everything? Don't know. Just a lot of questions. I hope that the federal government or this administration sits down and really goes through the uncertainty that the industry faces and maybe add some clarity to some of the questions that we have. But all in all, good things, good progress. 2026, we are sitting on a debt currency crisis right now. And a lot of people aren't really aware of this. I hope you guys are, the people that are listening. But you see it, you feel it, you see what's happening with precious metals. You see how other companies are positioning themselves. They're selling a lot of US dollar. They're acquiring precious metals. You see big institutions, what they're doing with their money. It's interesting. And nobody can predict when a crisis is going to happen. But from the information that's in front of us, or from what I can see, that it will. It's just a matter of when, and it's a matter of how big. I don't think the Fed can can navigate us towards a soft landing. We're well beyond that. So we'll see. But we're also going to see what happens when the government repositions themselves to crypto. So it's an interesting year. We're sitting with Schedule 3, you have a debt and currency crisis. You also have an asset bubble crisis. You have an AI asset bubble crisis. But also you have AI productivity too. And which one's going to come first, right? Very interesting year. I was thinking to myself, with our podcast, we've been traditionally really focused on cannabis operations. Bring on guests, talk about how other companies are scaling their cannabis operations. But just where we are today, I want to expand in 2026 to have conversations about everything that we think will impact businesses. You have so many things to draw in on. I want to have a lot more conversations on how we're leveraging AI to scale our operations, where we think, or at least where I think, the debt bubble is happening and how we're positioning ourselves accordingly for a crisis. There's a lot to be learned in 2008, how other companies position themselves during that crisis and how they won. And there's a lot of companies that lost during 08. Now, things are different now than 08, very different, but there's a lot to be learned on what happened before. But more than ever, information is power. And the more information you have, the better position you can be, and the better odds that you have to win. Like any crisis, There's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. There's going to be people and companies that make a ton of money by being positioned accordingly before a crisis happens. There's going to be a lot of people and businesses that are going to be caught with their pants down when a crisis happens, and they're going to be in survival mode. So the more information you have, the better position you can be, and hopefully you're in the right side of history when something happens. So in 2026, I want to focus more on things like this, things that I think that everybody should know if you're running a business or if you're not, on what other people are doing today, what big money is doing, what countries are doing to position themselves in 2026 and beyond. Last year, I wanted to do more solo episodes and I failed miserably. It was not a good year for solo episodes last year. I don't think I did one. So this year, one of my New Year's resolution is to do more and to at least give information to you guys on what I see that's happening, and maybe bring on some mentors and some guests and talk about what we see in the world and how we're positioning ourselves, and hopefully will help you guys in positioning yourself in today's world. So expect more of that. I ended 2025 just feeling really grateful. I'm grateful to be alive in a time of such large change. A lot of change is happening. It's so different today. Things are happening so much faster. In the early 2000s, you had the internet. In today, you have AI, and AI is just moving light years faster than internet adoption. You have bubbles in both worlds, but at least today's bubble, there's applications and there's commonalities. You have a crazy currency and debt crisis that has really started in 2008 and expedited itself during the pandemic. And then you have Schedule 3. So there's just so much happening in today's world, and I'm just grateful because I feel as though by being grateful, I'm mindful, and by being mindful, I'm informed, and by being informed, I'm positioned. And I hope you guys feel grateful too. So as always, we're so grateful that we have you guys as listeners. Without you, we would not be here. And I'll be talking to myself, which sometimes I feel like I am. So I'm really grateful for everybody listening. 2026, expect more content like this. We'll dive deep into certain things that we feel that you guys should know. Information is power, especially today. Things are happening and you guys need to be informed. So please go out there and read, do a lot of reading, do a lot of podcast listening, follow a lot of people on YouTube, on X, etc. Be informed, position yourselves accordingly. 2026, let's get it. Let's be on the right side of the ledger. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for listening to the KayaCast podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast in your favorite podcast app, or visit our website to access the full archive of episodes from the show.